Sani Bonani. Yes. I am live. It is 1 p.m. As I have said, that I'm going to start sharing the things that I've learned in my own journey, and and working in the financial industry. You know, the things that I've learned, the things that are the mistakes that I've made, and how I am changing or improving my own life financial status, and how else, and hoping ukuthi ke nawe ke uzothola something out of this. So namhlanje ngiqala lapha ngithi ke why I say and believe ukuthi ama funeral covers are the reason for are the number one cause of our poverty. Guys, we all know ukuthi everyone ophila la emhlabeni is gonna die one day or sometime. You know, one day we are all going to die. Now, what then has transpired ukuthi we figure this thing yama funeral covers ekukuthi mayiqalwa or when it's being sold ithengiswa ngendlela yokuthi it is helping us ukuthi sikwazi ukungcwaba our loved ones and with dignity, and so that we have money and all things like that. But iqiniso ukuthi instead of funeral covers doing that for us, they are crippling us in the pocket in the present moment. Yabona? What do I mean? Okokuqala nje ukwenza umngcwabo, most funeral covers anabo maximum ne bazothi you can only cover a person maybe for 60,000 ne collectively, so meaning that you cannot cover an individual for more than 60,000 with the different companies. I don't even know what you guys even know. Are you aware of such a thing? But there is into if it happens you have covered umuntu in the different places, but if you cover yake funeral must say combine ends 100,000, you're not going to get the 100,000. Saying you should, let's say you've got 5 different companies, or 20,000 each, and then that's how you are hoping you are going to get the 100,000. Angeke uyithole the 100,000 because I think manje if ngikhumbula kahle, I'm just going to have to check those things. Maximum, the last time I checked, it was 60,000, meaning ukuthi an individual you can only be covered for a funeral for 60,000, meaning ukuthi you can only cover the person for 60,000. Now umuntu oyenza umngcwabo sengisho ukuthi ubhekane naye, especially le yethu, it costs more than 60,000 to do a decent funeral. Yabo? Inkomo nje on its own, asithi kushona umama wakho or kushona ubaba wakho, on its own death kufuneka inkomo we're talking 10,000 15,000. Yabona? Umgodi we're talking that time, the last time I checked, which was in the last time you see sends a direct funeral 2012, bekuyi 2,600 in Joburg, and there was a reopening, meaning what we were using an already opened ilokuzana. So that was I don't know manje because it's been a while sibe nomngcwabo ekhaya directly recently, so I'm not sure ukuthi manje kuchargewa malini, asithi 3,000. So that you're talking almost 18,000 just ngomgodi ne lokuzana. We are not talking amakhaza, we are not talking about the transportation. Then I know ukuthi ke bese sinalezi zinto ezikhona ke ama undertaker, yabo, where we also take other packages nama undertaker ukuthi umuntu makashona at least undertaker izokungcwabela, and many of us sithole kule challenge ukuthi undertaker umuntu maseka ukhavwe different undertakers, and then undertaker no thina sikhipha imali. Actually most sibenza kanjalo, so what does keep imali sifuna ukusebenzela. And why that is the case, it's because it's cheaper ukusebenzela umuntu than ukumnikeza imali. Yabo? So then ke lokho kusho ukuthini? Lokho kusho ukuthi wena you still need to pay for i-undertaker. Sithi undertaker usuyayibhadala ischeme sakhona sifaka abantu abayi-10, and then maybe it's 500 a month, and that is cover i-coffin, cover umgodi, not umgodi, cover i-coffin, cover amanzi, amakhaza, and then the proceedings like amatende and all that. Bese mawufuna additional things like ukuthi ufuna inkomo ufana ubhatala extra, makuthi ufuneka i-tombstone, there's an extra charge for such things and all of that. So in a nutshell, ugcina ukuthi for umuntu oyi-1 to have a funeral ubhatala over 1,000 rand to get, for one person to get a funeral, 100,000 to get it 100,000. So you can imagine if you're paying 1,000 rand on a monthly basis for this specific cover, ne? For one, but you are paying for people. If you are paying 1,000 rand combined, the different funeral policies you have plus undertake, you're paying 1,000 rand only to receive in the future. A month in a year you've forfeited, like you've given away 12,000 for in case. So when loyal 60,000, because as in issue you are not going to get the 100,000. In maximum, the last time I checked it was 60,000. Also totally 60,000. Literally, if you are paying imalo sugunayo wena in the 5 years. Yabo? Anyway, angikho lapho. La ingikhona ukuthi these funeral covers, these standalone funeral covers, they are quite an expensive thing. Very, very, very expensive, because njengoba ngisho ngithi uthatha upatala 111 each, multi our combine. And by the way, we have done this exercise. I've done this with a company ebengisebenza kuyo eThuthuka SA, where we're doing comparative quotes for people ukuthi babheke ukuthi how much can they save than taking a funeral cover, then rather take other products ukuthi they have a funeral benefit inside of it. So engikusho ukuthi just as much we are investing in this funeral, ngapha sesenama society, kusesenama burial societies that we are also partaking in ukuthi umuntu azokwazi ukungcwabeka. So in a nutshell, we are investing so much money in the funeral, vele sazi in death, but i-challenge yethu, we are not investing smartly into this product, this thing ukufa. Because if, for an example, if you were to take a life cover, the reason it keeps us in poverty. If each and every one of us, as umntwana evela athathe life cover, even if it were 100,000, 500,000, 200,000, do you know ukuthi umuntu angathi ashona, by the time ngishona, my kids, they would have said to each and every one of us, because it didn't say us shown, we would have created a generational wealth. Instead of us as families, because now this family didn't contribute, this one didn't contribute, and so forth. But you see, okay, let's do, because eventually it's there. So I see Tateni, instead of doing these individual funeral covers, you are paying such a lot of amount, a lot of money in it. Siyenze instead uthathe asithatha life cover for everyone. Mangithi life cover, not only for myself, for everyone. The very people that is cover, everyone athathe life cover. Vele, i-challenge is ukuthi the older you get, the expensive the life cover becomes. But if beswathatha kusase early, for an example, for our kids, for ourselves, then we know that very life cover, it comes with a death cover. Yabon? A death cover ile mali lena that you can use for your funeral. So now a city life cover yako it's R1 million, and then is a death cover 100,000. Then you take the 100,000 uyazi ukuthi that 100,000 goes towards planning and doing everything towards the funeral without even anybody else having to contribute. Then the money that is going to come from a life cover, the 1 million rand, then so give money that you can now we share to each and every child, which nalo, or the people that you want million rand. So what are we doing then? We're starting a base, but because we do not have such education, invest so much money, so much in these funeral covers. Enough. Enough is kept in the same space. So khlupheka, because abanye abantu fanele baze bayokwenza nekweletu, abanye sekunane the thing ukuthi sekufanele kuyohlala umasipala lana and these other places ukuthi abantu abangenelele baboleke like bancedise ukungcwaba umuntu. But we all know ukuthi all of us are going to die. I-challenge ukuthi why are we putting so much money in these funeral covers instead of us putting so much, the same amount of money in the life cover? Because i-life cover ikunikeza a bigger lump sum and inane death cover attached to it. attached to it. Hence, mangisho ngithi these funeral covers are the cause, number one cause of our poverty, because ngayo le funeral cover siyalwa siyabangisana, meaning ukuthi we do not unite as families, instead we become enemies siyalwa. So mani ngahlangananga vele lento le niyachitha, because even in isintu and every siyasho ukuthi if isingasiyinkanda eyi-1, then it's easy to be broken. I think there's a verse in the Bible. I think there's a verse in the Bible where it says, when these things are put together, it's difficult for it to iqhamuke. So number one, lezi zona ayasilimaza ukuthi si expect ukuthi umuntu othile then must contribute and so forth. Sigcine sesibangisana lama 10,000 guys, lama 5,000, lama 20,000. Ekukuthi they don't do much for i-cost yokungcwaba umuntu. Ukuhlala komuntu e-ICini for the whole week like we do ukuthi umuntu angcwatshwe the following week, it's money. Abantu abaloku bangena baphuma, baloku bangena bayaphuma bazoduduza. Ngiyazi emakhaya eJoburg they do that, we do that. Ngazi ke emakhaya, I know bathi emakhaya they don't do that. Abantu bezoyaduduza baphuma bayahamba, instead baletha izinto versus thina bayenzela thina ama-cold drink. But the amount of money that you pay cover le expense that whole week, because la bantu abahleli ematrasini fanele ukuthi sibadle ekseni, badle emini, badle ntambama. Yabona? And that, guys, I'm not saying because there's a reason those things are even done ngalo ndlela le, but angisho that we shouldn't do. But engikusho ukuthi let's be smart and do these things in a different way, ukuthi lezi zinto lokufa esikwazi kuzokwenzakala kusesebenzele and become a benefit, like this is in as much as kunale loss kuphinde futhi kuba ne gain through this loss. Angisho yabona, because vele lo muntu uyalahleka enyameni, but as we gain an angel in the spirit. So there's this process that it's happening. So singazitholi sikhaliswa ukuthi lo muntu songcwaba kanjani and so forth. Let's use the money that we have effectively so to get the very same things esisifunayo but in a different way. Njengoba ngisho nje umehluko nge-life cover ukuthi umuntu inani element death cover. So umuntu the mali le death cover iye cover all these things, then life cover isinika nina i-base, yabo, i-foundation. So can you imagine if we were doing that, all of us sazi ukuthi in a family umntwana nomntwana makavela simthathele life cover asesemncane kanjalo, noma ngabe kuthiwa yi-100,000 because izokhula unyaka nonyaka simthathele le life cover 100,000, maybe inani death cover ye 10,000 because normally 10% ye 10,000, you know. Then we know ukuthi instead of you if anything happens to this child, you know ukuthi you're gonna have 10,000 yokumncwaba plus the 100,000, and you can use that 100,000 ukuthatha, then so uyakwazi ukufaka nelitshe there and there, then sesiyathatha the balance of the money sifaka ama-room senza izinto that are income generating assets azosilethela imali in our lives. But instead we invest so much in these funeral covers, invest so much in and yet we don't get anything out of it. I will do because as I've said, I'm going to do this for the next 21 days. And the reason is that I feel seeing that it's a new, it's a new year. We are in the spring. I guess spring cleaning our lives as well. And the things that are going to be of benefit to us. And yeah, I remember a few years ago when I was an advisor, some African. Yes, Pink, yes. And what's interesting, it's not even about retirement, because very retirement is like I'm investing in the future, but I ain't investment. But mina ngifuna sikhulume ngale ekuthi it's eventuality wonke umuntu. We are going to die anyway. All of us. So why then are we not using the very same thing here, death? Instead of us putting so much money in my funeral covers, and a limit. Because if funeral cover in any limits that you can only get so much, you cannot get over and above. Whereas the life cover, it doesn't have a limit. You can take whatever as long as you can afford and be able to pay for it. Then that's it. And I will again speak. share nje ukuthi what else can be done with the very same thing, a life cover and all this, but things throughout these days. I'm going to be sharing these things because I feel ukuthi guys, there's just kuningi kufanele ngabe siyakwenza, and if bekusenza izinto ngendlela right, we will not really look forward to death, but death wouldn't be so heavy on us. It wouldn't be bringing so much pain in us, you know, because kaningi umuntu mayeshona isilethela ubuhlungu because iza nobunzima, because then somebody who is a breadwinner in the family will have to carry everybody else, and those things are not fair. Guys. Njengoba ngisho nje ukuthi kamampela, these funeral covers are the reason, are the number one cause yenkinga zethu esihleli nazo zaloku kungabi nale mali. Yiyo nje into oqala, because asi understand ukuthi how else can we do these things. And ke abantu abaziyo ke what are they doing, because they know ukuthi we are extravagant, they know ukuthi we are not informed, but create all sorts of advertisements and whatever ukuthi sizobhaya into these things, sibenze rich bona, and then babe nemali and so forth, thina sihleli sihleli la sihleli khona. So mina ngize nje lana nje ukuthi I'm going to be sharing a whole lot of things, not only ngale nje ngalena nje yalokufa, because unfortunately that is our eventuality and our reality, all of us. So yeah, that is all that I wanted to share today. The next sasa ngizobona ke ukuthi what else can I talk about. Mhlawumbe vele ngizavele sengiqhubeka kuyo le into ye life cover, ukuthi what else can we do with the life cover and so forth, but I'm going to speak a whole lot of different things nefanele ngabe siyaziputha in place, and ekukuthi siyazidinga, you know, that we siyazidinga, and our lives, we can plan for them and make our lives better, you know. So I'm going to be talking about all of those things. Guys, I've worked Stanley, I've worked the Alexander Forbes. Stanley bengisebenza besenza yona ama unit trusts. So yes, I'm very clued up in indaba zama investments in the different and then ngasebenza Alexander Forbes besenza financial planning, and then into zama pension. Angisho Alexander Forbes rana administrator ama pension for different companies and government as well, part of the government. So then I also worked at FNB, which is where I find FNB Trust Services, where we're doing estate planning, nama trust, the different types of trust. Actually, I will also share those type of things. And nanokuthi kwenzakalani umuntu mayeshona kune will, what happens. All of those things I'm going to be sharing in the next yonke lamalanga lawo, just in preparation ukuthi njengoba uqala izinto siqala unonyaka uqala unyaka omusha. Ngiyazi abanye understand ukuthi unyaka omusha kanjani. That's another topic. There's many other things that we can learn on that one, but mina ngisafuna nje ngalena nje ukuthi let's start understanding the things that we are paying for, ukuthi kahle kahle what we are really paying for, yabona, and what we are not supposed to be paying for. That's it. I don't see any other comments. Ngibona nje yaka Pinky, which I've already commented on that one. Yeah, please, if you do have a question, it's something that has been lingering in your spirit, and you don't you still wanted clarity guyo, anything that has to do with these finances, you know, these financial languages that has to do with any level insurance and all that, short term and long term, just let me know. Either very good DM or in one of the videos comment, and then I'll see ukuthi ngizokwenza ilokho zana yayo kanjani, you know. But yeah, that is it that I wanted to share today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to tag other people. Remember to like the page so that when I go live, you can also get this thing, the notification. But yeah, I will do these things for the next couple of days. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Bye bye.